So I'm working on an album using the 49er market papers. If you haven't used these papers before, I am really impressed. And what I've done was I bought let me just find the pack. I can tell you what it's called. It's their Christmas papers anyway, but I've got the pack somewhere in here. Oh gosh, I show us a tiny bit there. So, oh, because I've taken the paper out. But it's their Christmas papers. I think it's called Evergreen Winter. Let me see if I can find it on anything. Evergreen Season. And it's a really good quality paper. And I bought the 6x8 pack to make a 6x6 book. So there's this sort of minimum wastage, and then what is cut off you can use to make pockets and things. So today we're going to have a go at this. Now this has been something that's sort of been on my mind for a little while, but I haven't actually had a chance to make it. So it's a sort of, it's like the Morgana front cover from Cool Cats, but it's a page. So it's got a tag, but it's also got a, yes, plastic, acetate, that's the word I'm looking for, an acetate cover. So you can have a pocket on there, but you've also got that nice frame and pieces on the front there like that. Sorry, my words are not working today. I don't know what's wrong with my words today, but they're not working. Oops, so let me just, why can't I see comments? Why can I not see comments today? Oh, right, let me just come out of here. No, I don't seem able to see people's comments. Oh, here we are. Good morning, Carol. Good morning. It's nice to see you with us. I expect you'll see his lordship on Saturday because he's going to drop me off, and then he usually walks up to say hello. So no doubt he will be around on Saturday morning. He's in the middle of painting furniture at the moment, so he'll probably tell you all about it. So yes, so I thought we'd have a little go at making this page this morning. So I've done some of the cutting, but not all of it. So what I've got here are my 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, which is the base page. I've then got 2 pieces of 6 by 6, and I've also got, and I know I can tell you I've got it, you can't see it, I've got a piece of acetate which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm just going to take that 6 by 6 and that acetate and put it to one side. I already lost it about 4 times this morning. And I'm going to take this 6 by 6 piece, and I'm going to use a die to create an opening at 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. So you don't have to use a die. I just, because I got it, I thought I might as well use it. I mean, you can use your trimmer, you can use your knife. I'm hopeless using my knife. So I'm going to use my die, and I'm just going to grab my ruler. And this is the easiest and quickest way I found to center it up. So I'm going to draw a line, a diagonal line, just lightly from there to there, and then again the other diagonal, like so. And now I can put my die on so that the corners are all resting on the line, and then I can be fairly certain that I am centre. So I'm just going to grab a bit of tape and put a bit of tape on, and I might put another piece on the other side as well, because I don't want this to move. Ah, my light's gone out, sorry about that. I didn't have an awful lot of power left on my overhead filming light, and I forgot to charge it up. So that is now firmly in place, and I'm just going to run it very quickly through my machine, which I've just put over on the side here so that it doesn't wobble the table. So I'll just run this through very, very quickly. So, and get rid of that. And hang on to your square. So keep a hold of that square because you're going to use that later. Okay, so this is the piece where we're going to decorate the front. Now I have cut myself 4 pieces of paper. Now you've got to be careful if you're going directional, which I am. So I've had to cut some going one way and some going the other. And the strips are 5/8 of an inch by 5 7/8. So 2 of them I've gone round the edges because they're going to be my 2 pieces that go vertically there and there. So I'm going to glue those into place. So I've already gone round the edges with my black ink. So these are 5 7/8 by 5/8. Now obviously if you make your aperture a different size, you will need to rethink your strips. So my aperture is 4.5, so that is the right size for that. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on that side, like so, and pop that down there. Now the next thing is a little technique that Paul Langford, to make a sort of a mitre that isn't, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to lay that one across the top, and I'm just going to put a little mark where those pieces meet that corner. And then I'm going to grab some scissors and I'm going to cut from that mark to the edge. So let me find that mark. There was a mark on the paper from the pattern. I nearly did it wrong. Okay. So, and then I'm going to use my ink to create a shadow. So if you haven't seen Paul do this, it's worth watching. He's really good at it. So use my ink to make the shadow, and then I'm just going to go round there and there. I got the idea of using 49er market. I have to admit, it isn't one I'd heard of. And then Paul showed us on one of his videos some 49er market paper. I think he got it from Crafty Wafty. And I thought, ooh, okay, I might just have a look at that. And so I thought I'll just get some to have a look at because it looked really good quality. And I was very impressed. I like their rub-ons. And as for the ephemera, you get so much ephemera. So I can see some other people are watching. Thank you very much for coming on. And then, I got that the right way up, yes. And then this one is going to go on the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing again, lay it in place, mark the corner where they meet, and then a little trim from the corner up to your mark, from the corner, ooh, that's it. It's the same thing, there's a bit of pattern there and I couldn't see where the corner was. And then I'm just going to go around this and this side, just to, you want a fair amount of ink because you want it to look like a shadow. You can see that one, it does actually look like it's been properly mitered instead of this lovely cheaty way of doing it. So I'm going to do these on this side, and then I'm going to go and put this in here. So yes, I was impressed with the 49er market papers. I haven't looked at any of the others, but the ones I've seen I really do like. So I think you can get them from Crafty Wafty. I'm sure you can get them from other places as well, but I got these from Crafty Wafty. So that creates my frame. Turn around that way, you can see. And I like this. I think it's a nice pattern. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick my acetate to the other side. But what I'm going to do before I do that, because I did this wrong this morning, is on this side, where the top is, I'm going to put a T. Okay, a nice big T. I got it wrong this morning and I spent ages having to wipe off a lot of glue. Okay, so I've got some tape. Now, where it says T, I'm not going to put tape to the top. So I'm just going to put one piece of tape in the middle because I don't want it to go right to the top. On the other three sides, I'm going to put my tape on the inside, whoops, keeping quite close to the edge. Oh, it's stuck to me. I've never mastered doing tape in a nice, tidy way. And on the inside, oh, and then I'm going to go around and do the outside as well. So I'll do the outside. Do the outside. And do the outside. Now, you know me, I don't normally use tape, but for acetate, it's so much better. Okay. And then I'm just going to take all of this off. Take all the carriers off, like so. Now the reason I haven't taken the top bit to the top is because it is a pocket. So if I had the glue too high up, which is what I did with the first one, it's then going to stick to the whole thing, and that's not what you want. So now the acetate will be slightly smaller, but that doesn't matter on these three sides because you're going to stick it all together anyway. So I'm just going to stick this onto here like so. And then again, only this time just on the three sides, I'm going to put some tape around these three sides. So I'm going to go, up that side. Sorry, my brain stopped working then. And up that side. Oh, problems. There we go. And along the bottom. Like so. And that's as much as I'm going to do because then I will have more pocket. So I'm going to take these off. No, I'm not. See, I knew in my head, I knew there was something I needed to do first, which was what was stopping me from thinking straight. So I've got my other 6x6 card and I've got a piece of 6x6 paper. I could trim it down, but to be honest, it really doesn't matter because you're not going to see the edge. I have gone around the edges, but again, it doesn't really matter because... Good morning, Stella. Morning, Stella. How are you this morning? Let me just check I haven't missed anybody. So thank you for joining me, Stella. It's great to see people coming on. So I'm just going to stick this on to here. Like so. So that is going on to there like that. Okay, and now I'm going to take my tape off. 1, 2, sides. Remember, this is only on three. Oh, this is only on three. I haven't got any nails at the moment. This is only on three sides. Your top, which you've marked with a T. Yes. And then you're going to lay this absolutely level, top and bottom and sides, like so. So now you've got a pocket here. I'm not going to pull it too much at the moment. And you've got a nice acetate. So what I'm going to do next is clear the decks a bit. The piece of card that I cut from out the middle, I'm going to use to make a tag to go inside. Out the way. So this is 4.5 by 4.5. So I've cut a piece of paper at 4.25 by 4.25, and I've gone round the edges of that with my ink. And I'm just going to stick that onto there, like so. Now, I've got hiccups. So what I did this morning, I put a tag on it, but I've decided for this one I'm not going to put a tag on it. What I'm going to do is just punch a hole, hole punch, hole punch, hole punch. And if I was better prepared than I am, I would have some Cool Cats ring reinforcements cut out, and I would also centre this up beautifully, but I'm just going to go like that for the moment. And then I'm just going to put some ribbon. I think I'm going to go green this time. I'm just going to put some ribbon through that hole. Like so. Feed it through. Double it up, feed it through. Like that. It's obviously it's much too long at the moment, but then you can see you can fit it in. You can push it down as far as you want. So if you wanted it to fit the whole gap, you could. If you wanted the paper underneath to show, you could do that as well. And you've got a nice piece of ribbon that you can pull it out with. So I'm just going to cut that a bit. And then what I did with this one was I used a piece of the ephemera. So I'm going to get the ephemera. And what I've done with the ephemera, with it, is to put it into 2 bags because there's so much of it. So I've separated it into large pieces and small pieces. So I'm going to take one of the larger pieces. So let me have a look through this. I quite liked the Father Christmas. So he was quite nice. What else have I got here that I could use? I've got lots of tags, lots of other bits and pieces. I think I might. Ooh, hang on. That would go. Oh, it's a no. Sorry, I knew what I was meant when I said that. No, I think I'm going to go with Father Christmas, and I'm going to put him, if I take the tag out I can see better what I've got under there. I could put him there, but then when the tag's in he covers that up, or I could put him there. I think I'm going to put him there. So let me just move these out the way. So I'm going to make sure, obviously it doesn't matter if the glue goes on the acetate because you're not going to see it, but because I want this to be a little tuck pocket, I'm only going to glue round here and here. So just a little bit of glue around those edges and then pop him onto there, like so, and then if I go to the smaller pack, put those away later. Let me see what I've got in here that I can use as a little tuck in the tuck spot. So I could use a nice little tag. There's just so much of it. I've got, I don't know what that is. I think I'm going to go with the tag for that one. It's got a bit of glue on it there. Yeah. Okay, I think I like that. Anyway, you could have a good old rummage through and see what you wanted from there. So I've got a tag that looks like that. Yeah, let's just go for the tag. So you've got a little tag that fits in there. You've got your bigger tag that can go inside like so. And you've got quite a pretty little page created.